Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Existence Situationship. I'm Mike, joined as always by Danchester United, and a very potentially naked hot Kyle.
Oh, Mike, you gotta pay big bucks to find that one out. So,
How we doing, boys?
We're doing great. We're doing great. I was told we were wearing costumes for 28 years later, and I guess I feel like there was less commitment on your guys' end than mine.
I made it.
Jimmy.
Where's the wig? Huh?
Well,
I got one.
You're more like Spike when he takes the wig off, if anything.
there it
Yeah,
is.
it's Spike when he gets his ass kicked
when he
by a
gets-
pregnant woman.
Yes, precisely.
I made it very clear in the text messages that I would be dressing for the apocalypse, not that I would be cosplaying. I don't know that counts as less commitment so much as exactly sticking to what I said. But
I'm just saying, a little bit of ketchup could have gone a long way if you're going for the Ralph Fiennes look.
I mean, if I had it, well, let me rephrase. No, I would not have put ketchup all over my body just for that. If I still had all the red face paint, you better believe
Fair enough.
it'd be on.
Fair enough. And, like, staining your chair, etc.
Yeah, it's right. It's old and it's leather. It'll be okay.
Well, and to be fair, I just had this thing lying around from when I was Predator. And so I figured being Samson was the way to go. Come on. I got all the required parts.
It's a good look on you. What can I say?
Thank you. Before we get to 28 Days Later, I heard you guys saw Send Help. Funny enough, more people in my world have been talking about Send Help than they have 28 years later. And so I want to know what your guys' takeaways were real quick, and if it's worth the watch.
This one was fun. Like, I never put on my bingo card for 2026 a Sam Raimi Survivor plug, but it happened somehow.
Nice.
From beginning to end, I never once asked myself, is this movie too long? I was locked in the entire time. I was engaged. I never really felt that it was a horror movie per se. There was a lot of suspense there. There was a lot of, like, gore and guts, surprisingly. Like, there were a couple scenes that could rival the Saw movies. Like, I'm not kidding, dude.
Whoa.
Like, two particular scenes in mind, I'm like, that was disgusting, but it was amazing.
Okay.
Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you. This was perfectly. It held my attention and kept my enjoyment at a maximum all the way through. I can't recommend that movie highly enough. It was basically Castaway meets Survivor. Castaway meets Misery. And it was incredible. But what made it really interesting to me is that there's not a good guy in this movie. There's no protagonist. You have these dueling antagonists who, like, they both have a good reason to not like each other, but by the end they both are just bad people. But the way that they kind of circle each other and they each have their own priorities just made it for a really compelling watch where you never got burnt out. And then somebody told me, they're like, I heard it had a crazy twist. And I was like, personally, I don't think so. I thought everything was pretty blatantly foreshadowed. Maybe not how extreme the final sequence was, but like more or less, I was like, I know about what's going to happen. And I was fairly right. So if you're a relatively astute movie watcher, you won't be blown away by the twist, but the ride was it was so good.
Well, that's so surprising because, like, from the trailers, all you see is that there's two people and they're trapped on an island, and you see kind of like shots of Dylan O'Brien crying and Rachel McAdams thriving, and like it was really hard to figure out what the movie had going on, especially for an R-rated Sam Raimi flick. So it feels like I'm kind of going in blind. I feel like I have no idea what could go down that's delivering this kind of reaction.
That's fair. It was more or less what I expected from the extended trailer.
Okay.
But only in the broad sense. Like, I was like, okay, these two people aren't going to like each other. They're going to get on the island. Rachel McAdams is going to thrive. The power dynamic is going to shift. But how is that all going to play out? I couldn't have guessed any of the craziness that went down.
Okay.
And to Dan's point, the blood was
Top notch.
Yeah.
Top notch. They had a good blood guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very needed. We've learned you need a blood guy.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Mike though. Like, the two actors that they picked for this were great.
My gosh. Yeah.
Like, they were able to carry that whole movie for 2 hours, Never once did I feel that it was weak at any point. I'm like, dude, like, bravo,
Yeah,
Wow.
bravo.
it was excellent.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out. That sounds like a must watch. I'm here for it.
Mhm.
It was, but now for the movie we're all here for.
Yes. Yes. 28 years later, the Bone Temple.
Do we want to discuss just this movie, or do we want to look at this as a whole?
I think we need to. The whole needs to be addressed because this movie is so intertwined with the first one that it's like,
Yep.
you know, it's necessary that you know the bigger picture to be able to judge this film.
I agree.
Because yeah, if I go first, it was very interesting that Bone Temple had a very different structure and feeling altogether from the first one. I saw it with some friends, and we were discussing how the first one feels very much like a fantasy movie. They build this new worlds. You've got these bow and arrows. They go on this adventure. It's a big adventure story. And this one was much more like an indie thriller. Like it wasn't even as much of an action movie. It was kind of a horror movie, but it wasn't all that scary. It was like this like intense character piece more than anything, which is so different from the first film. And I think there's good things and bad things to that, because I did appreciate that they kind of like took this leap and pushed it in a new direction and really hyper fixated on just, you know, the doctor Samson and Jimmy the Satanist. Like the whole movie is just hyper fixating on these three characters, but rarely does a movie spend that much time just dwelling in the characters and in the personality of it all. Like the first movie's so big on the adventure that it doesn't take a lot of time to slow down, and this one was like it was on stop. It paused to just sit with these characters and like learn about how they all coexist in this world. But what do you guys think?
The director switch really stood out. Kind of like you were saying, the tone was very apparent. Nia DaCosta, I think she did a good job. I read into it a little bit, and she was very actively trying to avoid imitating Danny Boyle's style that you saw in 28 Days Later and 28 Years Later Part 1. And, you know, I think they did a good job at maintaining the identity of the films while also infusing her own artistic viewpoint on it. It's just, I don't know, it kind of landed weird with me at some points, but that's not to say that I didn't enjoy it. I really liked the Samson storyline, being able to kind of walk back and see where he came from, what makes the infected tick. The lore expansion on the infected was huge, not just in this one, but the previous one too. The introduction of the alphas was a really cool idea. And then we've got this whole thing going on with the Jimmies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I loved the Jimmies personally.
Okay.
Like, they were my favorite part of the movie just because, you know, there's this weird angle that they were going for of, like, kind of like a band of misfits almost is the way I interpreted it. And if you were, like, just strong enough to beat the weakest one, you became a part of the pack. So it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, okay, how long has this Jimmy crowd been going on? It's like Jimmy number one has been here for 28 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, how long has he been tearing this up? And then you've got mention of it in the first one where Spike's dad's like, yeah, there's some weird people on the island that just kind of roam around. And that made me think he has to have come across Jimmy at some point with a line drop like that.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm almost hoping for more Jimmy content in the future in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, fantastic job with that. What did you think, Mike?
I'm having a hard time with this one, man. For me, the first one was I saw the first one for the first time a couple weeks ago in preparation for Bone Temple.
Okay.
And it was instantly like, I kind of have to reassess my top 5 movies.
Whoa.
Like, it was that good.
Okay.
Life-changing.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought
Nice.
it was brilliant. I thought the way it handled its themes was just like a masterclass. I loved the way it basically just asked one question, and then every new group of people had a different answer to that question, and then it just stress tested everybody's answer to why is it worth being alive against the backdrop of the apocalypse. I thought it was brilliant.
Nice.
And then these two most recent 28 Days and 28 Days Bone Temple, I don't feel like they've done that as cleanly as the first movie did. And the other thing they haven't done that the first movie did is freaking end a movie. Why did that light just get so bright? It just we're 2 movies into this thing, and there hasn't been like an actual ending yet, and so I kind of feel like this movie just deserves an incomplete, and I need to reserve judgment until the last piece comes out, because while they have been really interesting on their own as installments, they both suffer from part of a whole, and the whole has not been complete yet. So I find myself walking away more frustrated that we didn't go back to the dad, we didn't go back to the kid, that there's these loose ends that didn't even get brushed upon, and maybe they're gonna tie it all together in the last one. But yeah, I left feeling very incomplete, and
it really was.
It was frustrating.
It felt like a 2-hour TV show episode at the end of the day. Like you started this
That's actually
thing
a really good way to
with
put it.
every plot line in progress, and then you ended this with every plot line still in progress. I feel like I would never have any reason to watch this movie on its own. Like I would only ever watch this again if I was going to do a binge of the new ones and did like a whole like watching them back to back. But as a standalone, like it doesn't, you know, it doesn't wrap anything up, and it's a great character study. The performances were great. I think Ralph Fiennes deserves an Oscar for this. He was incredible. I thought the performance from Samson was amazing. To watch what was the scariest threat in the last movie, like slowly regain his humanity, it was all in the eyes. Like before he was even saying words, you could see the life coming back to his eyes. It was amazing to watch. And the Jimmy stuff was delicious. Like he was great character, but like fucked up. They're you know,
super fucked up.
The scene in that barn where they're like skinning people, it was a little too far for me. I gotta admit, as somebody who's not a big fan of like torture in films, I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom right now. Like this is an okay time for me to. I've been saving. I can miss this part. And then I came back and we were back in it. Like there was some nastiness there. But it's kind of also, Mike, you just saw the original one. Like one of the key tenets of the original movie is that, you know, the people are worse than the zombies. And I feel like this one really brings that one back in full force. That at the end of the day, the zombies are just monsters. Like they're just creatures at this point. But the humans and the idealism they get and what that drives them to is so much more dangerous and more evil at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think when they talked about like the behind the scenes on these movies, they had said part one, the main theme was meant to be family. Part two, the main theme was meant to just plainly be evil. And I'm not gonna lie, I think they knocked it out of the park with that. I did some more research on the Jimmy's thing just because it fascinated me so much. And an interesting piece of trivia is the whole get up that they've got going is not by mistake. Yes, there is a Teletubbies element with the different colors. But in addition to that, I guess Jimmy is cosplaying a very prominent British children's presenter from the 90s who turned out to be a pedophile.
Whoa.
And when I read that, I'm like, wow, that is beyond messed up.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So there's just like more and more layers of just how evil this character is the more you look into it. Just everything about him. And then you contrast that, kind of funny and ironic, to Ralph Fiennes' character, Dr. Kelson, right?
Yeah, Ian Kelson.
He is just like the ultimate empath. Like literally, he talks to everybody in this movie and the previous one and just lands really well with them. Literally, the dude who worships Satan was like, you know, I don't like many people, but I like you.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Just the juxtaposition of pure evil versus what you could argue is pure good.
Wow, nice.
And then you've got the guy who's pure good turns around and has to pretend to be pure evil.
Yes!
I loved it.
But how good was that scene, though?
Oh my god, brought the whole movie home.
Production value was crazy.
Yeah.
The Iron Maiden song and just like the theatrics, just for their own sake, were already just so amazing. That was incredible.
Well, come on, the whole movie he's singing to himself and dancing.
Right.
Like you could see he's got it in him. So for him, you could tell like the character of the Doctor loved putting on the performance and just getting that out.
Yeah.
Turn it up to 11.
Literally.
And he is, I mean, honestly, he is one of the best characters in a movie I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, to have the charisma to euthanize someone's mom right in front of them and then be like, here, put the skull on the pile. And still be a good guy is insane.
Wow, great point. You bring up a great point. That's hard to pull off.
Yeah. And then, like, when he turns it around and, like, at the last moment he sees Spike and he's like, he sees what Jimmy's getting ready to do. He's like, No, I can't let like to turn around and like sacrifice himself and risk it all like that was just like one of the great characters I've seen in I don't know how long.
Yeah, yeah, I see that. Well, so I think it's interesting. I kind of found out some of the behind the scenes stuff, and like when they originally set out to make 28 Years Later, they didn't know they'd be doing the Bone Temple, but they had a chunk of budget that was still available, and decided like late into the game that they were going to do this movie, and so that's why I think it feels a lot smaller, because a lot of the budget went to the first one and not necessarily this one. And I think they already had all these sets built. A lot of the sets were reused from the 1st movie. You know, we saw a lot of the Bone Temple and the train station, or just the train itself, like a lot of reused sets, and not that many actors at the end of the day, not that much big production value. And so they threw what was left of their budget into like conjuring up a whole second movie. And so I think that's why a lot of it feels very, it doesn't feel like this grand second chapter to a big 3-chapter story. It was kind of an extra add-on that they did because they had the budget for it. Like I kind of, my theory is that they weren't even going to do the Jimmy thing until they realized they had that movie, and they invented the character of Jimmy to make this work, to give him an arc. Because at the end of the day, he only came in at the very end of the first, and then he dies by the end of this one. And so if you were only going to do this one and whatever the big next one's going to be, you don't really need the Jimmy character, clearly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, you watch 28 Years Later Part 1 just with Spike, his father, the mother, like, that's a complete movie. You don't need to include the Jimmys at all. That I could totally see how that's like a DLC thing going on there.
Okay, it feels like DLC. This movie is DLC. This is, if the first one is Spider-Man 1 on PlayStation 4, this one is the Miles Morales game for PS5, and then 28 Years Later, 3 is going to be Spider-Man 2 on PS5. The magnum opus of 28 Years Later films.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Cillian Murphy's back though. I love that. As someone who's been watching 28 Days Later, like, all my life. I used to love that movie. To see him come back and gear up for the third one is really exciting.
Yeah, it felt... For me, it was frustrating.
Yeah.
Because it felt like fan service to placate the fact that there wasn't an ending. And so, on one hand, I am excited to see this new Jim come and talk to Spike, which I processed that, like, I don't know, 3 hours ago. Like, I was looking up something and I saw a picture of him and I was like, is that Jim wearing a fucking tracksuit?
It's Jim.
That's going to be a little difficult for Spike to process, I do believe. Like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was intentional or not, if the name was a total, like, fluke, but, like, you could almost see some kind of tension happening because of that. And I'm desperately trying to figure out where they're going to go. Like, is this going to ultimately... Because nobody found out that the zombies can be cured.
Mm-hmm.
We have no information about that. So is Samson going to have to turn up and start talking to somebody so they can realize, like, we can undo this thing? Like, I don't know. There's just a little bit to go on, but there's a lot of loose thread at the same time.
Can I tell you my theory?
Go for it.
I think they're going to pull a fast one on us with the zombie baby, who is Samson's kid, mind you.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Aaron Taylor Johnson's going to leave the baby behind to go find his son, and that baby is going to bite some old lady's finger or spit up on somebody's face, and now the zombies will break out from the inside of the village because they probably don't even know that it's a zombie kid to begin with. And so you can burn that whole village down from the inside because the baby, like, bit somebody. But I also foresee that Cillian Murphy and his daughter, Aaron Taylor Johnson and his kid, and Kelly is the name of the girl, and Samson. I could see them all, like, kind of coming together as all these characters that have been spread out the whole story coming together and teaming up for, I don't know. I've loved that the apocalypse has been, like, sequestered to just the UK. It's been quarantined in. I think that's very fun. And so I really foresee that they might also do something like, oh, well, the military's coming in and they're just going to shoot everybody to cleanse the land. And so I kind of like this angle of it's zombies, but it's also the military doing a cleansing. And we can have all of our main heroes, like, kind of running around in the chaos of all that.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I think convergence is definitely going to happen for sure. I mean, like, The omission of Spike's dad felt intentional. I think that there would have just been too much movie to include him at this point. The baby too. There's just a lot to unpack there. But the one I wanted to focus on really quick too is Samson. So the really interesting thing in this movie is they established that the virus is not just a physical transformation; it's a psychological transformation, and it can be treated just like psychosis. So when I left the movie, I was thinking, well, okay, great. Like Samson's doing better. I am no doctor, but I think you need to continue treatments for psychosis, or you
Yes.
just
Mm.
you just go back to how you were. And now that Dr. Kelson is dead, like how are they supposed to keep that going? Like Samson is going to have to find some way to transfer the knowledge of what he's learned from his treatment to somebody else, somebody who's capable of replicating that process. And you need to find the medication to be able to do that again. So I feel like this is going to take them
Back
into
to
the
a
city.
hospital.
Yes, into the
Nice.
city.
Opening
Oh,
shot, closing
nice.
shot, mirror.
Love it.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, what if it is the city from the first hospital from the first movie?
Yeah,
Where Jim
that'd be
will-
incredible,
that-
actually.
That'd be a really good full circle.
And it'd be also really fun to watch the character descend into zombiehood again. To like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got a
Yes.
flash. We got to see that he does see
Look-
like threats. When you see a regular person, you think it's a monster. And if he's
Yep.
starting to lose his mind because the medication's wearing off,
Watching the rest of the cast transform in his head.
and all of a sudden
Yeah.
he thinks they're being attacked by zombies, but it's actually normal people that are around. There's actually a lot of fun to be had there.
I like that.
Dark though, dark, because we want to love him, we want to trust him, but like if he's
Mhm.
going back into madness, it's only going to end bad.
No, I could see that being. I could see that actually being really exciting.
Yeah. Now I want to know which one you guys liked more, 28 Years the first one or 28 Years this one, because they're such different movies. The group I saw it with last night, we were split down the middle. I liked the first one more, but other people really liked this one more. And I want to know what your guys' takeaway is.
Mike, start us off.
Look, man. Until this thing ends, I don't like either of them.
Wow.
I was deeply disappointed by the ending of both movies. I think the first one was closer to a complete film, and like that final sequence when they were playing the intro theme from 28 Days Later was like, okay, this is a really good rap. Like Spike has basically had a complete arc. Oh, here's the Jimmies. Everything like ends unsatisfactorily now.
Yeah.
And then this one, there was more of an arc. You have the Samson story, you have the story with the doctor, you have Jimmy, like everything got wrapped up more neat, but then Jim pops back up. It keeps being Jim's at the end of these movies that just throws off my entire, like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So right now, 28 Days Later is the movie in the franchise that I like. And the other two, I am refraining on judging just yet.
Wow. Okay.
That's fair.
That is fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I kind of echo the sentiment a bit that it's hard to pass judgment on this movie until all three parts are out, given that it's going to be a trilogy. But if I had to pick one, it's got to be part one. Like the Spike and Spike's dad. God, I wish I could remember Spike's dad's name. I know he's got one. Does anybody remember what it is?
He's Aaron Taylor Johnson to me, and that's
Aaron
all
Taylor
he'll
Johnson.
ever be.
Okay, we'll go with that. I found their story to be really interesting because like this is the first time we've ever gotten to see post outbreak life for real. Like the
Yeah.
last two movies, it was only a few weeks or a few months out, so like everything was still kind of normal. This is an entirely new way of life that we're looking at, almost medieval.
Yes.
I found that super fascinating. There was less focus on that in the second one and more focus on just the Jimmies and how they operate. And then the Samson bit was great, but I don't know. I was very drawn to that post-apocalyptic lifestyle that was shown in the first one. Like the water bridge scene where they're running from the Alpha
Oh,
was
God.
fantastic.
Yes.
The suspense was palpable. I'm like, guys, like, there's literally a freight train behind you. How are you not seeing this right now? Like,
Yeah.
literally, all the water's flying in the air, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and I agree with you there. I liked the last
Yeah.
one better as well, just for the pure fantasy of it. They built a whole world, and it was fun that we had different zombie types. You've got these crawlers, and you've got the normal ones are still running around, but they're naked now, and that makes them all the more intimidating. And then adding in the alphas, we've got bow and arrows. It was also Danny Boyle shot that all on iPhone, and so
Shut up.
I remember this, yeah.
Yes, dude, you should
Yeah.
look some of this up because they built ridiculous iPhone rigs. One of the rigs, they literally had about 60 iPhones like on this rig side by side like this, and they filmed Samson running in naked in the woods, and like they do these shots where they just like for a single frame, like spam.
Oh yeah, like in the Matrix, they did the same thing.
And so, look, honestly, yes, it was iPhone, but there was $500,000 worth of equipment on top of it other than that.
Yeah.
But still, there was a feel to it that was very different and strange, but very, like, satisfying. So I thought the first one really leaned into that more, and I like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
It almost, the whole vibe kind of feels like Dying Light 2 to me. Which is kind of hilarious, because that's what I expected going into 28 Days Later. I was like, all right, it's going to be Dying Light the movie. And then I was like, nope, this is an art film.
Yeah, big time.
And now I'm like, okay, Dying Light 2, that's cool. I like it.
I just got to point this out. Did you guys notice that Samson was a little smaller in this one? I don't know if you guys peeped that, but I was kind of sitting there like, where's the rest?
Did you have a ruler?
Where's the rest, buddy? I remember being a lot more scared of it in the first movie, and then second movie I was like, that's it? I don't think so. I'll run it back. I don't think so. That's. Am I the only one? Am I the only one?
I think you might be. For me, I saw the first one on my TV, which big TV, but movie theater screen it is not.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't a comparison that I was able to make apples to apples or testicles to testicles, as it were.
And I don't know. I get it. You got a lot more scenes of Samson sitting down with the doctor, being face to face with him. I get it. There's a female director. I wonder if that plays a part in this as well. Seriously, if there's a little bit of like, we don't need as much penis in this one. Like,
Yeah, Danny Boyle was already obsessed with dicks as it is. I mean, literally within the first 5 minutes, we see Jim butt naked in the first one. Like,
that's so true.
Completely naked. I'm like, this scene really wasn't that necessary. But
we got Ralph Fiennes naked in this one too.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh my, so many penises. But I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't have Aragorn without his sword.
I gotta take the dildo.
You wouldn't see Legolas without his bow. You need Samson to be fully present, you know? Like, it's part of the character, guys. It's essential.
That is his weapon.
It is his weapon, exactly.
Shall not pass.
Because look, when that naked zombie's coming after you, like, you don't know what he's gonna do, but you don't want it to happen. Like, just don't.
Right? He's already impregnated one person.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're running extra hard. You're running extra fast, and you better hope he's just gonna eat you. Like, that is best case scenario now. Like, and that's the difference. That's the difference. So anyway, good movie. Now, what'd you guys think? How's this one or Send Help? What'd you think was better?
Oh, I'd take Send Help
Yeah.
10 times out of 10.
Whoa.
Bone Temple for sure.
Which isn't to say Bone Temple's a bad movie.
Okay.
I know I've kind of dogged on it, but like the incomplete thing really does, like, third movie hits, I'm gonna have a totally different opinion on these first two. You know,
Yeah.
so like it is truly up in the air. Whereas Send Help, I was like, one movie, it's done.
Yes.
Everything
Yes.
was actually complete. Whew, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I do think there is a underused art of, even in a trilogy, at least giving us good closure at the end of your film. You know, I think
Spider-Verse.
so often,
Spider-Verse.
big time. I mean, Spider-Verse had a whole scene that could have just waited till the next film. Like, you had a climax and then 20 more minutes. And I feel like so many movies nowadays, when they know they're getting a sequel, they just don't even finish the film they've started. And that does drive me crazy. Because
Bad
at the very least, same thing with TV show seasons. Like, at least bring closure to the story at hand, and then start a new one and keep it going in the next one. And nowadays, everyone's like, "Oh, well, wait till the next one. That's when it gets real crazy." And that mentality drives me insane. I'm also sick of that.
I would almost say that's like a lack of confidence in your writing. Like, do
Yes.
you not think that your story is well written enough that you need a hook to get people to come back next time
Exactly.
around? Like, you shouldn't need the cliffhanger for
Yes.
people to watch season 2.
Yes.
Like,
Well, and
I don't know.
you can do a cliffhanger. So, like, plot, in my opinion, is built around character development, right? So you can have a character arc, and that's the thing that ultimately should be propelling your plot forward. And so you can complete an individual growth arc for a character, and that will give the audience the satisfaction of a story being wrapped up. That's what Spider-Verse 2 did so well. Is Miles like grows and he realizes I need to be honest with my parents. My parents will love me. He makes this big decision, and it's you feel satisfied with the movie because the character's like arc that was set up at the beginning has come full circle. The bigger story can keep going. I can't wait for the next one, but I can't wait for the next one, and I'm still left with a good taste in my mouth because they knew how to tell a story while letting a bigger story spread out over 3 movies.
Yeah, I just saw Lord of the Rings: Two Towers in theaters, and that's another great example where like Two Towers. I mean, no, the world is not saved. Things have not resolved, but you have a very satisfactory climax in winning the Battle of Helm's Deep, and Frodo convinces Faramir, like a mortal man, to let go of this opportunity, to let go of power and believe in good. Like ultimately, that story is also it ends on a big cliffhanger because there's so much left unresolved. But you kind of nailed it on the head. At least all of our characters close their arcs, and there is enough resolution to be satisfied for now, and still be eagerly anticipating whatever's going to come next. And this movie didn't do that. It was like, tune in next time to find out what happens in 28 years later.
Honestly, Spike regressed.
Yeah,
Spike
fell apart as a character.
Yeah, he didn't really have an arc. He just had an experience. Like Spike was just a witness. He wasn't a protagonist at all, really. He was kind of just a side character for this one, which was also interesting.
Well, and he had so much growth in the first movie that just got dialed back to almost 0, which is really and like, to be fair, that experience would do that to a kid. I totally get it. It's like, okay, I learned how to handle this one thing. Oh crap, I just hit something so much bigger than what I expected would be out here. But like, I would have loved to see some kind of.
I mean,
anything.
He didn't do anything if you really think about it. Like Spike didn't really participate in any of the key elements of the movie. He didn't like participate in the final, I wouldn't even call it a battle, but the final scene, the climax. He was always kind of off to the side witnessing other people do this. And you're right. It kind of negates, I didn't realize that it kind of negates all that growth he had.
Right.
In
Did he at least stab Jimmy at the end? Who stabbed Jimmy the last time?
It was the girl that stabbed Jimmy.
Yeah, okay.
She stabbed him and then knocked him out and then crucified him, which she also just stood off to the side
What
and
a
watched.
crazy scene that was.
Dude, seeing Samson come out as a demon rocked my world.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he had these faces on his shoulders too and the giant horns. But I kind of liked that somebody pointed out that we've learned that the zombies see something that isn't there, and that's what drives them. And in the end, once again, he was so eager to be validated. He was so eager to see something that wasn't there that he was just as bad as the zombies.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, that jump scare got me like crazy at the end. I screamed. I leapt out of my seat and everybody in the theater laughed at me. It was pretty funny. But come on, when it's upside down, you look at the bone temple. I knew it. I was like, it's coming. It's coming. Something's gonna happen. And then it came, and I still fucking screamed. So what would you guys rate it out of 10?
I think if I had to pick, I'd have to give Bone Temple on its own a 7. Yeah, it just doesn't quite wrap up correctly. It has great moments, really good cast. It's just, gosh, finish the damn movie. That was the only thing that was missing.
Yeah.
And then the change from one movie to the other in terms of artistic direction does stick out a little bit, but that doesn't hurt it that much.
No.
Yeah, solid 7.
Yeah,
Mike?
it's so difficult to answer that because the cinematography was incredible. The story arcs that they did close were beautiful. It did everything that it did well, just immaculately. It just, the fact that it essentially is a perfect movie that loses 3 letter grades for not being done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything it set out to do, it did. It just didn't seem to think about how it worked in the context of the greater trilogy. So yeah. I'd also give it a 7, and then I'd give the first one a 7+.
Fair.
Sure.
Kyle?
Yeah, I'll give this one a 7. I'd give the first one a 9 for the world they built. This one's a 7. It felt like an indie horror movie at the end of the day, just like an indie horror piece. But I did like it. I don't think I'd ever see it again, and I'm fired up for the third. I'm fired up to see how they bring this all home.
All right, so the big question: should you see 28 years? We're gonna just run that again. you should you see 28 years later the Bone Temple? Yes or no, Dan?
I would say yes. Still,
This is for the audience.
For the audience,
Yeah, look, if you're on the journey, you got to see it. If you're watching 28
Yep.
years, I believe there's going to be a big payoff. I wouldn't say just watch Bone Temple. Go see the first one and then see this as the next chapter and get ready for the third one because, I mean, there's reason to believe the third one is going to blow us all, like, knock our socks off. And so I'm all in for it. Watch this one so that you're ready for whatever's next.
yeah, I'd say just sit and wait, man. Wait till that third movie is announced, coming into theaters, and then binge them all.
Fair. Cool. All right, guys, shall we move on to our game?
Absolutely.
Guess the
dig into it.
zombie.
What's up, everybody? Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my boy King Set Bro right here on YouTube. He makes the show Akonitum, an animated show. Funny, creative. It really does an interesting job expressing some of the different life struggles that the King Set Bro has been dealing with. And I recently got the privilege of voice acting with one of the characters on his show in the most recent episode. So go show him some love, check out the show, have a laugh, and tell him we sent you. Back to the show.
Welcome back, guys. All right, I've got a game that I'm very excited to share with you both called Guess the Zombie. The trick with this one is going to be that I pulled a bunch of images of zombies from different zombie movies and franchises. All I need from you guys is a guess of the franchise. I'm not looking for specific movies, but I've pulled different zombies from different universes. And a lot of the pictures will be either close-ups or iconic zombies, so there will be clues in the presentation, so to speak. And from that, I want to see if you guys can guess what zombie movies I pulled up. I will say that there's some tricky ones and a couple doubles. So do not be afraid of guessing the same franchise twice, as I snuck in some doubles to see if I can get you.
okay.
All right.
Cool. We ready to play?
Let's
It's
roll.
gonna be tricky for a blind guy. You all look the same to me already.
All right, let's see here.
Whoa.
All right, for our first zombie, you guys have 5 seconds.
Oh dear.
This one's iconic, though.
Zombie is
Come on.
not my genre.
Sure. This is also the fuzziest of my pictures, but red eyes. This is one of the. I don't want to give you hints. I want you guys to go to piece it together for yourself. Let me know when you have your answers in.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
All right, let's see your guesses. Nice. Okay, Michael, you are incorrect. Dan, you are correct.
I just thought red eyes. I don't know. That was the closest thing I thought of.
Yes, you got it.
What was it? I can't read Dan to the screen.
I said 28 franchise, so it was either from days, weeks, or years. I couldn't tell which.
Was that one from Weeks?
That was from Days. That's the first zombie he sees in the church.
Really? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
the
like the
priest.
priest that's crawling around after him. Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's
Now I
like-
see it. The
Yes.
pews, yeah.
Yep. Okay, for the following questions, I'm gonna have you guys state your answer as you review.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. And next one up in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, I feel pretty good about this one.
Okay.
Oh gosh. All I know is that I don't have the answer.
You guys ready?
Ready?
Locked in.
What you got?
Night of the Living Dead. Mike.
Which
Did you get
direction have I? Night of the Living Dead.
Both incorrect.
Yeah.
Oh boy. This
We're
is
trash.
This is classic Dawn of the Dead. This is the classic.
Dawn of the Dead.
I'm really sorry. I didn't know this was gonna blow you guys out of the water like that. I thought you were both.
I did. I was
experts.
confident I wasn't getting a single one of these.
Freaking A. All right, next.
I know this one.
Oh. Oh, I have a real guess for that. Oh yeah.
All right, what do you guys got?
Is it Resident Evil?
World War Z.
Once again, Dan is correct. Come on, you even got Brad Pitt's glowing golden locks in there.
I thought that was
This-
a girl. I have to go get my notepad. Excuse me.
This movie's terrifying though. The speed these things can move.
Dude.
Like,
I love World War Z because it takes on the global picture of the zombie apocalypse. And we're actually dealing with saving the world. It's not, so many zombie movies are just like a small band of survivors. And this is the man charged with saving everyone. And I love it. I love it.
I'll tell you what. This is a zombie movie I've actually seen, and it was really good. I was
What was
very
this?
impressed.
Yes. Damn, you actually seen this one and you still messed it up?
I saw it in theaters when it came out. Whoa! Oh, that I know
that
for sure.
is ugly. I'm into squids, but not that.
All right, I'm confident. I'm hearing some recognition here.
Yep.
What
Michael,
guys
you
got?
ready?
This one
Resident
is
Evil.
Yes, there we go, boys.
All right, now we're on a roll. Now we're on a roll.
Moving on up. Moving on up.
Oh, I think I know this one. It's a very distinct.
Exactly.
Design.
Yes, yes. Then you're looking at you're paying attention to the right things. How do
I hope she has good dental. Jesus. All right. Ready, Mike?
What do you
The
got?
Walking Dead.
It's The Walking Dead. God, that was
What'd you
my-
say, Mike?
The Walking Dead.
No, you didn't. What'd you really say?
I said Night of the Living Dead, but it was between the two of them.
Dan, yes. Big
That was
points.
the
Well
one I
done.
already had written down. Whoa.
No, I know this one.
Oh yeah, do we need to?
Nope.
3, 2, 1.
The Last of Us.
Oh shit, that is The Last of Us. That looks a lot like the Resident Evil thing again.
Sure. Totally Last of Us. It's got fungus. Come on.
Yep, no,
Yeah.
I got it.
Among Us. And isn't this that crazy scene where she cuts the forehead and it's like loaded
Yep.
up?
It's
Ew,
the
ew,
ga-
ew,
the
ew,
gas
that's
station, yeah.
gross.
Oof.
Yeah, that show was amazing. Oh.
This was a good inclusion. I didn't even consider this in that realm.
I'm not saying it's a trick question. I'm just not gonna say it.
All right.
I have
got it.
genuinely no idea. You can just dock me the point, but I want to know.
Okay. What do you got, Dan?
Evil Dead Rise.
Yes, sir. This is one of my tricky ones. 'Cause-
Is it a Cenobite? Is that what they call them?
Oh.
I forget. There's a name for it. They don't call them zombies. They call them something specific, and now I'm blanking.
They call them Deadites.
Deadites. That's what it is.
What is
Cenobites
it?
is Hellraiser, I think.
Oh, it is Hellraiser. That's it.
Yeah.
Kind of a trick question, but I mean, like aesthetically, fits within the zombie world.
Oh, absolutely.
Gotta love some Sam Raimi.
I know this one. Great movie.
Man, this is embarrassing. This is worse than freaking horror trivia.
Yeah.
Oh my
Have
gosh.
you even seen a scary movie, Mike?
Yeah, just very, very, very few zombie movies. They don't generally overlap with the psychological thrillers.
Dan, I know you got it. I want to hear Mike's guess.
Go for it, Mike.
All right, we're gonna get original with this. Night of the Living Dead.
Damn it. No. Dan?
I Am Legend.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I haven't seen that since I was in middle school.
The scene was iconic. I thought this was another easy
Yep.
one.
This is getting a sequel. I don't know if you guys heard.
Dude, we might
Based
be
off
right,
of the alternative ending.
Yeah. Which is actually very fascinating because the alternative ending is a million times better than the original.
Yeah.
And so, kind of cool that we're taking it to the next step. Unless I heard Michael B. Jordan, and I will watch anything he does at this point.
mean,
I
that's
did hear
fair.
you'd be in it. Yep.
Also, not that it matters, but oh shoot, I at least recognize that. I got George Romero's Night of the Living Dead as a genuine guess.
Zombie Land.
Yes, Dan! Atta boy, let's go!
Woody Harrelson and his Twinkies.
I
yes.
did recognize it. That's a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Oh, put me out of my misery. Double tap me out of this thing, dude. This is rough.
Gosh.
Next.
Oh,
Oh Lord.
This is another iconic one from the movie, but I got a feeling neither of you guys know it.
I should have at least Googled a list of zombie movies before we did this.
Yeah, there was no prep work, just cold.
This one in the movie, she's like the first time they really see somebody go from bit to turned. All right, what do you got? Just guess, so we can move on.
Hold on. I
Night
got
of the Living Dead?
No.
It's a Dawn of the. It's a Dawn of the Dead.
Yes, it is.
That was such a.
It is. It's a 2004 one, motherfucker. Let's go.
Oh, I've definitely seen this before.
This one, I will admit, is a tougher one. All right, what do you guys got?
Dawn of the Dead.
World War Z?
Both incorrect.
Oh.
This was a tougher one. This one was based more on recognition because of like this is kind of an iconic scene from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh God. There's too many of the Dead movies, dude.
Deads. When they're outside the bar and the guy gets like, pulled in the crowd and they all eat his guts. I believe that's the exact scene.
Grab a pint and wait for all this to blow over.
Exactly. Dan, great work though. Great work though. You did a stellar job.
I knew watching those zombies movies when I was 5 would pay off one day.
Mike, you are today's loser.
Yeah, by a mile. Do I need to go run around the house real quick? Or,
I think you actually have to stand up and give us your best impersonation of Ralph Fiennes dancing in 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Brother, I've seen that one time.
Well, come on, let's see what you got. It's all in the
I'm
wrists,
not even
baby. It's all in the wrists.
Was it like, was he doing this?
It's doing a lot of, it's a lot of like crazy twisting and wrist stuff.
Gotta get that Duran Duran
I was
going.
gonna say, yeah, we can play the music if we need it. Or we can sing it for you.
All right, hold on.
I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I'll have to find. And if
This is
I
triple
try
platinum.
to make my way to the ordinary world, I will learn to survive.
Yes! There we go.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Long Distance Situationship. Go see the Bone Temple if you can't tell. It'll move you. It'll get you to take your shirt off and do online podcasts like it's nobody's business. So.